In this final orientation video, I'm going to show you how to complete a unit in MathAS. This is how you're going to be spending about 97% of your time in this course is working through these materials in MathAS. Okay, so just a reminder, you're going to start here at Module 1, okay, and you'll want to start at Unit 1, and you're just going to follow these one by one down the list until you complete the course. Okay, so let's go to Unit 1. That's what you should do after this orientation assignment. Okay, and here I have directions on how to complete a unit to remind you so you don't have to reference back. Okay, we start with a unit pretest. Okay, some units, about 3 or 4 of them, will have calculator videos that you can watch so you could learn how to use your calculator. Then we get to the media lesson with the media lesson packet, the homework, and the quiz. Okay, so you're going to do this in the order just from the top down, keep moving. Now notice that this is grade, and you're going to see this sometimes. What this means is it says the requirements for beginning this item have not been met. And I have in red the first thing on all of them that have a prerequisite is it will say what you need to do to get it to open. So you need to get 100% on the orientation assignment. So that's what you're doing right now. You're going to click that you watch those 3 videos. And then the fourth one is a question, some questions on what you learned in these videos. You have to get 100% on that. That will be your 40 points, and then this pretest will open. Okay. Now I'm going to go to instructor mode so we can access this. So let's look at the first pretest. So this is where you start. And again, the idea is maybe this is place value in whole numbers. Maybe you completely remember this, okay? And spending 3 or 4 hours completing this, you wouldn't learn that much that it's worth you going through all of this. So you could try to take the pretest, get 80 or higher, and then you can opt out of the unit, okay? Notice whenever there's a time limit, so there's 15-minute time limits on pretests, it will tell you right away. You click OK. Okay. Now, you shouldn't go get a soda now or go pick up some McDonald's. The timer is running, okay? If you leave, you won't be able to get back in, okay? And if you just leave it running, that time's just going to keep on running, okay? So you get to see your first pretest question for free. This is a multiple choice question. You click on the button, okay? Not all of them are, but I think at least half of them are usually in every pretest. So let's do this one. Notice it says this is attempt one of 1. In pretest, you only have one chance per question. Okay, there's 15 minutes. On other assignments, you'll have more time. But I'm trying to see if you know this relatively well. It shouldn't take you more than 1.5 minutes to complete each assignment. You can use a calculator, so you should have that ready too. So let's get this problem right. So in the number below, what digit is in the 10,000ths place? Well, that is the 3. So I'm going to click here. My answer is 3. And after you finish your question, you hit submit. Okay. That green check means I got the question correct. Okay. If you get it wrong, there will be a red X. So on the pretest, you can't redo questions. You just get to do these 10 to see if you can get through. When you're done, click here. Otherwise, don't. Okay, something weird, it doesn't just hop you to the next question. You have to click on it. You could actually see how the little hand highlights the different numbers. You can click on any question you want to try next. You could go to 2 and say, oh, I'll save that one for later and jump to 3. Okay, so that's how you move around in these questions. Once you're done, then if you want, you can click to see a summary of your scores. Okay, and notice we got 1 right. So 10%. Then you can click return to course page. So this will take you back. So if you do get 80% or higher and you want to skip this unit, email me or message me right away. Okay, I need to enter your pretest grade for your quiz grade. And until your quiz grade is entered, the next unit won't open. The pretest will be available. The media lesson videos and paper packet will be available, but you won't be able to start the next homework. So that gives us a little time, but you want to email me right away. So if you want to keep working, you don't have to wait for me to open something. Okay, let's look at the next part. So now suppose you need to work through this unit. Okay, here's the calculator video. I would definitely suggest looking at this before your homework, not necessarily before the media lesson packet, but that's a good time too, so you know how to use your calculator. So you want to start the media lesson, so here's what you need to do. Each packet is right there in the folder, so that's the easiest thing to do. Print it out. You want to print it out so you could write directly in it. Okay, it's tempting to just kick back and watch the videos like you're watching Dancing with the Stars, but you do not retain as much. Okay, you need to be interactive, and this question says media example. There's a little computer. That means there's a video. Okay, you should be writing down everything you see. You could write notes to yourself if there's something you want to add. And then after the media video example, there's a you try. That's the little pencil. This is just like the problem before it. You try it, and then you can check your answer. In the course material is all the you try answers, so you can check them when you're done. Okay, then here's the next video, problem 3. And in the playlist, it's labeled by problem and this description. So once you have this printed, you will go to the playlist. Okay, so this is actually a rather long unit. Okay, you'll find that they're not all the same length. This is probably about 20 videos. I can't really tell. I think unit 2 is a little bit longer, but unit 3 only has like 8 videos. So be prepared for that. You know, you'll probably get to unit 3 and say, oh yay, it's so short, but you might want to spend some extra time working on this, or if you get to a short unit, start working on the next one right away rather than waiting a week. Okay, so let's just click on, so you can click on any of these. Here's the first video. Okay, there's me talking in a video within a video. I'm going to pause that so we don't have to hear it. This looks like the first problem, if you remember. Okay, I'm going to go through and explain how this works. Okay, and sometimes you remember, sometimes there's details you need to remember. Okay, so try to really watch carefully, write down everything, and listen. Okay, if you want to make the screen big, you can click here, and there's closed captioning here. Okay, so when you're done with that problem, you can work on the next one. Click for the next video, and then you'll see it says problem 3. Oh, let me be quiet. And media example 3. So you'll turn to that question in your packet. Go through this whole thing. You don't need to do it in one sitting. Just keep moving along. And when you're done, you're ready for your homework. Okay. Now notice this says you must score 40 points on the orientation assignment. Most of these say you have to score 80% on the previous quiz. Okay. So the Unit 2 homework will say that you have to score 80% on the Unit 1 quiz to start. Okay, but they're all listed up here so you know what you need to do. So you have to get 100% on this, and that's going to seem a little bit intimidating, but it's actually not that bad. I'm going to find a problem. I don't have to fill in a lot of stuff. Okay, so notice I just clicked on problem number 6. You can click around however you want to, whatever order you want to do. If you don't like the first one, you could say I'll come back to that later and skip around. So I skipped to this one. Now notice the resources you have here. Every example, at least for the first 2 modules, I'm working on these worked examples more. They took me a lot of time, but I think they're really going to help. So if I click on this, notice this is an exact example of the problem you're working on. It's just different numbers. Okay, so you can't just look at this and put this number in here. These numbers are randomly generated. Okay, but I tell you specific things that you should be careful of in Math AS. Here you don't, when there's blank boxes, you don't put zeros. Okay, I tell you, this is a kind of short one, but I tell you step by step how to do the problem and how to make sense of the problem. Okay, so that's one resource you have. So if you like reading things to get help, that's a good resource for you. And all of them also have videos that refer back to the media lesson problem that covered this idea. So if you want a refresher from a video, if you like watching things rather than reading things, you can go here. Also, you can use your media lesson packet to help you work through these. The questions are pretty much in order. Okay, so now I don't want to fill that one in. So now I found a problem. I'd like to show you how the attempts work. Okay, so notice this says attempt 1 of 3. The pretest said attempt 1 of 1, but in this case, I'm just clicking on anything. Okay, you answer the questions. If any of these are right, it'll be by random luck. Okay. You answer the questions, you hit submit. Okay, there's that red arrow. So the red arrow means you have more attempts, but you got everything wrong. So now I'm going to try to get some of these right. 4 is in which place value? It's in the 100,000s. I'm just going to get one right. It says attempt 2 of 3. Okay, so now I have a little bit of credit. This turns this pea soup color when you have partial credit. Okay, and say this is attempt 3 of 3. I hit submit again, and I don't have full credit. Now you have a check, that's that green color. And it says you have 1 out of 6. And you need to have 6 out of 6. You need to get 100 on every single question. But all you need to do is click try another similar question. Okay, and you're going to redo the whole problem. So I just entered all the correct answers. Okay, notice the green thing went away once I hit try another similar problem. My 1 point is still there, but now I hit submit. All the questions are correct. I get full credit and there's a green check. So you don't want to redo one with a green check, because if you get it wrong, you could lose some points. Okay, so again, it may seem hard that you have to get 100 on your homework, but for every single example, you could even try it again, though I don't recommend it. It has your points there. Okay, you have 3 tries. You have the worked example in the video. I'm just doing this because I forgot to show you something. And after the 3rd try, it shows you all of the correct answers. So you could see maybe you got this one wrong and you couldn't figure out why. You could compare your answer and say, oh, I was missing a 0. Okay. And if you still have questions, again, just hit message instructor about this question and it'll send me a message with the exact problem you're working on. You don't have to take a screenshot or email it to me or anything like that. Just click that button. Okay. So now after the homework, you get 100%, then you're going to take the quiz. Okay. You click on the quiz. There's a time limit. You have 60 minutes. Okay. Now notice the quiz has 10 questions. You get to see the first question for free. Okay. Notice it says this is attempt 1 of 1. So you have 1 chance per question, but you can generate new questions with new numbers as many times as you need to. Okay, so I skip to a new problem. This one isn't as long. So say I get this one correct and I get this one wrong. Okay, so I have 5 points. You can keep the 5 points, but remember you have to get at least 80, and you can say, oh, this one's right. Oh, this one I rounded the wrong way. Now you've learned something. Click try another similar question. Enter your answers, and you get 100. Now you have full points on that. Okay. So you have 60 minutes. That's about 6 minutes per question. So that's a lot of time. Okay. So take your time and work through these. You can regenerate them as many times as you want. You have to get at least 80% or 8 of the problems fully correct to be able to move on to the next unit. Okay. Now, if you don't get an 80, it's not the end of the world. You just need to contact me. I'm going to review your work, send you some feedback, and then we'll try to work on the quiz again. Okay, so that's how you complete a unit, and then after the unit, you do your review, which is just like a test, or just like a homework, I'm sorry, and but it's like a homework on all 3 units, and then you complete your exam. Okay, so I hope this helps, and I hope to see some of you in the Math Step Lab. And remember to do your 4th question on the orientation assignment so you can move on to the pretest in Unit 1.